We back for another week. We going strong too. It's week 7. Week 7. You know what that means. It's time for Steph's Game Picks. What's up, guys? Some call me Steph. Some call me Saucy. Some call me a BMW head because I am. Obviously, you know I got the BMW M3. Just in case you didn't know that, you could check it out if you want to learn which M3 I got on my Steph's M Life playlist. Man, a lot of things I'm going to continue to keep doing. Obviously, it's fall time now, so it's no more big car shows. I went to the biggest car show in the tri-state area earlier this summer. And also, you know, I did a few upgrades, and it shows my journey of purchasing my M3, as I'm going to keep saying it because, man, it feels good to have an M because it's the most powerful, and I repeat, most powerful letter in the sport car division, in my personal opinion. M. Yeah. So, in other news, obviously, too, my Steps Bitcoin report. Yes, I talk about Bitcoin, too. It's in case you didn't know. You can check that out on my Steps Bitcoin report playlist. I just posted a video, too, as well on that. So, we're keeping you up to date with money. We're keeping you up to date with cars. And also, the NFL, the National Football League, the Not For Long League, as I like to say. And, you know, we're back for another week. You can follow me on Instagram at Steph Saucy. Yes, I am saucy. And look, man, you know, it's a lot that's been going on. And obviously, baseball postseason is going on. Shohei Ohtani's looking like a next coming of his own self because no one is able to do what he has done. Obviously, Babe Ruth was a two-way player, but Shohei Ohtani, 10 Ks through 6 innings, 3 home runs against the Brewers to clinch that series to go to the World Series, 3 home runs and 10 Ks in one game. I should do a baseball talk, but that baseball is not my expertise, nor I should say. So we're going to continue with the Steps Game Picks. Well, Giants are playing today, 4:25 game. We're out west in Denver. That's my team right there. But you know, like how we like to do it, we like to say, let's get to the headlines. The headlines this week, of course, is obviously Cam Ward. Man, his coach, in case you didn't know, got fired earlier this week. Brian Callahan, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's not looking too good for him. As Cam Ward is a rookie QB, like many rookie QBs who first year in the league, their head coach gets fired. We've seen it with Trevor Lawrence. We've seen it with Bryce Young and Cam Ward now, as he's going to be with a 1-5 team. Going into another week, probably another tough game. We'll get to the scores and schedules in a bit. But look, man, I think it goes without question, man. Having a rookie QB is tough because some of them get thrown into the fire like Cam Ward has. Some haven't. Look at Jordan Love, for instance. He waited 3 years until he got his opportunity at Green Bay. Patrick Mahomes, the great Patrick Mahomes, who has 3 Super Bowl rings. He had to wait a year until he got his opportunity. And it's not too many QBs nowadays that don't get that. Okay, we see, look, Drake May, 4 games into the season, he got put in there. Look at my own QB, Jackson Dart, 3 games, he gets put into the fire now. So I think, you know, that's got to be a real conversation, man. Should NFL teams, or just any sport, should throw their rookies, their number 1 overall picks, top 10 picks, whatever you look at it, the person for the future, I'm trying to allude to, into the fire that soon, man. It's real tough. CJ Stroud had a great rookie year. Jaden Daniels had a great rookie year. So it all depends, but I do think, me personally, I will let the guys sit. I don't care how bad, how desperate people have been waiting for. You got to understand, you got to make sure that QB develops. And that's the biggest issue we're having nowadays in NFL's busted picks after busted picks. Thankfully enough, it hasn't been since last year's draft. Jaden Daniels, like I said, looks good. Drake May looks good. Jackson Dart looks good. Bo Nix, obviously, he's starting right now for the Denver Broncos, And J.J. McCarthy, too, is on the Vikings. Michael Penix, he had to sit, 10 or 11 games. No, excuse me. He had to sit about 15 games until he got the last 3 games he was able to play. Obviously, they missed the playoffs, but look at what he's doing now. So it all depends, man. I mean, that's the biggest headlines of the week. Also, too, CeeDee Lamb is back for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see how the Dallas Cowboys can light up the Washington Commanders defense. But as far as I'm concerned, the Cowboys can't stop a cold from coming, because their defense is terrible on the back end. And obviously the run defense, Rico Dowdle, he spoke his truth, and he really did what he had to do to get the job done. So let's get to our games. We are now officially in what week are we in now? Week 7. I just said that. Damn near week 7. Okay. So let's go to another ESPN page, because obviously I like to show you guys the total offense and defense teams. Rams right now killing it in London, 28-0. Earlier this week I had them winning. And you look at the Jaguars, man. I mean, they just have been going downhill. They can't convert on third down. Travis Hunter's not really getting involved as much as he should be. Trevor Lawrence has been throwing bad passes. Guys are dropping passes, and the penalties just continue to keep happening. It's going to be 2 straight losses, what it looks like right now as I'm looking over at my screen. It's 28-7. Obviously, 9 minutes left in the game. Anything can happen. We know that's the NFL. Okay, so look. Here we are. Week 7 in the NFL. Let's start with the game out in Chicago. We got the Bears and the Saints. All right, the Bears and the Saints. Chicago, they proved me right last week. I picked them to beat. Who did they beat? Oh, Washington, and they did. They won on the last game, second field goal. Obviously, a turnover by Janie Daniels at the end of the game screwed the Washington Commanders, but it made me look good, so I really like that. So the Bears have a 64.6% chance to win, 35.1% chance for the Saints to win. Obviously, Spencer Rattler, former Oklahoma QBs, both Caleb and Spencer were both Oklahoma QBs. Obviously, we have our inactives again. Wow, the kicker he didn't kick the game-winning field goal, Cairo Santos, excuse me. But I don't think we should look at the injuries too much in this game. Look at the division right now as we look at the Chicago Bears on the bottom of the division. I feel like they win this game today, they will be tied with Minnesota. So let's continue to get the statistics. Caleb Williams, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I like that stat right there, people. 9-2. I think he's gonna ball out this game. What are the over under 45.5? And the favor is Chicago by 3.5. The Saints, don't get me wrong, they had a tough test last week against Drake May. I mean, he was throwing the ball all over the place. But let's go with Chicago at home. I think they keep the winning streak going. They look like a better team from last year. So let's go with 21-17. I like that score for Chicago, 21-17. Let's move further down the line. As I mentioned to you, Giants are playing at 425, which we need that game. Here goes another game that are 2 bad teams. Not necessarily, but obviously the record speaks for themselves. But Cleveland, their QB situation obviously is riding high on Dylan Gabriel, who was a Heisman finalist. And the defense obviously is good. Let's go back to the defensive ranks. Cleveland is ranked 3rd right now in total defense. They give up 262 yards a game. And they're going to play defense every year. The problem is with the offense. Cleveland Browns haven't had a great QB since when? Yeah, that's what I thought. I can't think of any. So look, man, they've gone through over 20-something starting QBs since the 90s. I mean, it's just horrific, man. I don't think they'll ever get it right in Cleveland. Look, you traded Joe Flacco away, and look what he did against Pittsburgh last Thursday. How does that make any sense? And within the same division. Bro, that is nuts to me. That's what Mike Tomlin said. Like, I don't know if this guy is smarter than me, but how could you trade your game week 1 starter to a division rival? Something's not adding up there. And look what he did. He's looking like Joe Flacco from when he won the Super Bowl with the damn Ravens. When he went on the postseason with touchdowns and no interceptions that year he won the Super Bowl. And that's how he looked at 40 years old. And you traded him? You are home this week against the atrocious Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa, which like I said, man, I don't think he's the guy there no more. Mike McDaniels, he's on the hot seat. I'm surprised he's not gone by now. Miami has a 56.7% chance to win this game, but I believe in the Cleveland hopefuls. Cleveland will win this game by a score of, let's say, a low-scoring game. I like this 20-19. That's all I really like in this game. I can't speak nothing further of it. 20-19. Okay. Let's continue to keep working. Alrighty. Where we at right now? Patriots, Titans. Like I said, I know Cam Ward was going to have a tough team going against this week, and he's going against New England. And as of right now, I'm just going to say this up front. New England's going to win this game. I don't feel Tennessee, with the loss of their coach, is going to make a difference. The offense has been putrid, to say the least. They can't score points. They only scored 10 last week. Cam Ward, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This is not making any sense to me. This guy had over 40 or maybe 38 touchdown passes at Miami last year. Obviously, the collegiate game is not like the NFL game. You got to get this guy going, man. He can throw the ball, man. Calvin Ridley is the leading receiver with 16 receptions for 290 yards. We are in week 7, people. This is not good. Jeffrey Simmons, he's doing his thing as a defensive tackle with 4.5 sacks, leading his team. There were talks about trades this week for him. He's not going anywhere as far as I'm concerned. But you got to get a guy that was a former Heisman runner-up, Cam Ward. More offensive statistics, if you ask me. This is not good. 3 touchdowns. He's way more capable than that. And obviously, that's the reason why their coach got fired, because of that. But I'm taking New England this week. They are leading the AFC East division right now. Drake May, I think he will have a field day. Let's go with a score of 29-17. I think this might be one of the blowout games of the week. Stephon Diggs, I think, was he questionable this week? Right now, I don't see him on the injury report. He had a chest injury this week. Stephon, why your chest hurt, man? You know why. But let's keep going. He's got a lot going on over there. 29-17? Yeah, I like that. Raiders and Chiefs. Chiefs should have a field day this week. Geno Smith still leads the league in interceptions. He had a great week last week because he went against Tennessee. But not this week against this Chiefs defense. Let's see. Geno Smith, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Ashton Genty, I mean, he's surprised me a lot. He's been coming into himself. But Patrick Mahomes at home, 12.5 they're giving him. Yeah, it looks like one of those games. And Rashee Rice is back, who was suspended for the first 6 games in the NFL due to, lack of, the policy. He failed one of the policies and he was suspended. I think he was in some legal troubles in the offseason, so that's why he was out for so long. Patrick Mahomes is the leading runner for his team. That has to change real soon. You can't have your QB doing both like that. But this should be a good game. I think with Kansas City at home and all the weapons Patrick Mahomes has back to him, you can look at a score of Chiefs putting up at least 30 today. I like 30-20. That's all I see today, 30-20. Let's see. Okay. I said Raiders and Chiefs. Let's go one of the big 1 o'clock games. Eagles and Vikings, who we beat their ass last week, which was dope to see. Philly got their ass kicked by my Giants. And look, they're not even getting the highest percentage to win this game this week. Minnesota is home. Carson Wentz facing his former team that he ultimately led with a great record until Nick Foles came in, did the Philly special, and won that Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. And Carson Wentz hasn't been the same since. He's been on, I think, 5 or 6 different teams. This week, J.J. McCarthy's still inactive with an ankle injury. Andrew Van Ginkel's out. But that Minnesota's defense, I mean, let's see what they're ranked. They're ranked Minnesota. Wait, am I missing something? Vikings. Yeah, they're the sixth best defense. Yep, the sixth best defense in the NFL. Philly, not so much. They're in the bottom lower half. So, but Carson Wentz obviously is the starting QB. I mean, can Philly lose 3 straight? If they lose 3 straight, they still would be on top of the division unless Washington wins this game this week. But the offense is not there. The running game, we shut Saquon Barkley down last week. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Minnesota's going to bring a lot of pressure this week. They have one of the highest blitz percentage rankings. This is tough, man, because Philly losing 3 straight, meaning that they don't have a championship identity this week. Like I said, Carson Wentz is the QB for the Minnesota Vikings. I will take the Minnesota Vikings this week with an upset alert with the score of 24-21. That's what I like, 24-21, because Minnesota's defense, I think, is going to help them a lot. Philly can't seem to get the pass game going. A.J. Brown is still on that team. I thought he was going to be traded soon, but he hasn't. Let's go 24-21. It won't be a blowout, I could tell you that. Okay, Panthers and Jets. Man. When are you going to win the game, Jets? I mean, I want to say you're going to win this game this week. But, man, oh, man. I mean, it's just hard to root for you guys. You guys are the most penalized team. The offense has no sense of urgency. There's no continuity there. Garrett Wilson, is he out this week? He's inactive with the knee. I mean, you only got Alan Lazard and a couple guys that I don't even know, and I don't even care to mention their names. Justin Fields. I mean, obviously the Jets are going to be the leader for the number 1 pick, and the QBs coming out of this draft class, you're looking at probably a Carson Beck. The guy from LSU, maybe Arch Manning. I don't know. He slipped a lot in the draft so far with his Texas team not doing too good. But the Jets, man, 0-4 at home, 0-6 overall record. But the Carolina's 0-3 away. So listen to me, man. Carolina, I'm going to have to go with you guys this week. I think the Jets' woes continue. And Bryce Young, he could have a big game this week with the Jets, the defense was supposed to be so great with head coach Aaron Glenn. We're not seeing that. I mean, they did great last week, but the offense, man, I think you can't get any production today except Justin Fields probably losing his legs, and you're going to rely heavily on Breece Hall today. So let's go with Carolina winning this game. They're saying 1.5. I think it could be more than that. I like Carolina to put up 26 points today. The Jets to put up 20. So let's go 26-20 in favor of the Carolina Panthers, with the Jets going 0-7. Sorry, Jet fans. But eventually, hopefully, you win a game. Okay. All right. Colts and Chargers. Chargers just came back miraculously last week with that few seconds of the game. I think it was 50 yards to Ladd McConkey. Justin Herbert threw the ball to him, and they won that game against Miami. They almost lost that game in losing of 3 straight, but they somehow found a way under Jim Harbaugh to win that game. This week, you're going against a tough test against Indy. Still, the Indy train, Indiana Jones train, continues to keep rolling. Man, oh man, I think this week Indiana goes into L.A. Yeah, and they got L.A. winning by 2.5. I don't see it this week because I think this is a great matchup. Daniel Jones doesn't have to really do much because he has Jonathan Taylor, who leads the league in rushing right now. And this the onslaught of weapons that Daniel Jones has. He can either run for touchdowns. He can either pass for touchdowns. I think this one, though, will not be high scoring. I like this score to be close. Indiana with a special teams win, I think, this week. Let's go 23-21. right, let's continue to move down the line. And here goes another good game. It's going to be high scoring, I think, because Cowboys can't stop anybody. They're 2-3-1. They lost last week because they couldn't stop Carolina driving down the field. Washington's coming in here, like I said, no CD and no Terry McLaurin on the offensive side of the ball. But you got Jaden Daniels. I mean, he could do things with his legs, and he's going to pass it to who he can pass it to get some scores up on the board. Dak Prescott, 1,600 passing, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's pretty great so far. And a lot of people consider him an MVP front runner. But if this Cowboys team doesn't get it together, I mean, they could be one of the worst teams. I mean, 2-3-1, you lose this game, you're 2-4, and that means you're tied with the Giants at the bottom of the division. So I think this is a big game for Dallas. For some reason, some way, I think the NFC East is starting to look like a bad division, guys. Look at these records right now. If Philly goes in today and lose at Minnesota, which I predicted Minnesota to win this game, they're 4-3. Either Washington or Dallas are going to be either 3-3 or 3-4. And then you got my Giants in there. If we win today, we go 3-4. So look, man, it's a heads up. It's anybody's division now at this point. With 7 weeks into the division, but this week, I can't go for Dallas. I think, man, I would like to, but Washington, I feel like they'll find a way with Jaden Daniels to win this game. I go with the upset again this week, with Washington winning with the score of 29-27. Don't ask me how I got that score, like I like to say, but this score is going to be close. It's going to be a lot of scoring going on because, Dak, he could throw the ball, and CD's back, but the defense is going to let him down, I think, again. So let's go with Washington. Like I said, 29-27. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington scores 30 today, but let's go 29-27. Packers, Cardinals. Packers are going to be on the road for the next couple of weeks, I believe. They're favored in this road win. Arizona's looking bad. I mean, Jacoby Brissett looked better than Kyler Murray. And is he out again? Questionable today with a foot injury. Green Bay came off of a pretty good win against Cincinnati, although Joe Flacco just got traded to the team. He only had 3 days to prepare. So this shouldn't be a tough test, although Arizona's defense is pretty good. They're sitting at the bottom of the division. I don't see no way they're coming back. Green Bay leads the NFC North, so they have to win this game today, and I think they do today on the road with the score of 25-17. Like I said, these scores, you can't make them up. You never know what's going to happen, so I go 25-17. Let's go. Because I think we got, again, 2 Monday night games coming up. So as we continue to keep going down the line, we get to the 4 o'clock games. And the big game at night, Falcons against 49ers. Look, Atlanta, I know I said last week I didn't believe in you guys against the Bills. But you proved me wrong, and that's why you're ranked number 1. I repeat, they're ranked number 1 in total defense. And as far as offense is concerned, let's go to that because they have some great numbers on offense too. The second best team with 378 total yards, and Bijan 151.2 rushing yards for overall for the Falcons. And this week, San Francisco coming off a loss against Tampa Bay. They lost Fred Warner. I don't see how you could replace a guy like that. So give me Atlanta this week. And like I said, I told my uncle, I know I said this at the beginning when I first started doing Steph game picks, Atlanta's going to be a problem. Now, right now, they're second place in the division. But I do think if they face Tampa Bay again, they will win that matchup. And they could ultimately, listen to me, listen to my big take. They could ultimately, watch this, go to the NFC Championship game. That's what I think. Right now, how they're rolling. Let me get that. Put money on that right now. NFC Championship game, Atlanta. I see the Falcons in it. So this week, on the road, I get it. It's going to be a tough environment. Brock Purdy is still out again. Damn. Wow, that guy, he might be sideline. He might be on IR real soon if it doesn't get better for him. So let's go with Atlanta with another upset. I've been upsetting teams all week. Hopefully I'm right. Atlanta on the road against San Francisco without Fred Warner, the leader of that defense, to put up 26 points. Atlanta looked good last week against the Bills. I don't see why it can't continue in San Francisco, although I do think San Francisco can put up 20 points. Let's go 26-24. That's what I like. Atlanta, 26-24. Yep, ATL, baby. Actually, that is a place I would like to move one day if I could. Atlanta. It's a dope spot, I heard. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got. Oh, man, Jacksonville, they just getting blown out as we keep going. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. 2. Well, this is the big game, not so much the other game. But Buccaneers and Lions Monday night. Brian Branch got suspended from that altercation he had against the Chiefs last week. So he's going to be out on defense, and I don't see how you can stop Baker Mayfield. Look at this, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception with literally backups. Literally, you don't have Mike Evans. You didn't have Chris Godwin. You find a way to win these games. Baker Mayfield just does it, man. And, of course, you know my Lions, man. Come on, Detroit, baby. They played great so far. They're second in the division. It's going to be tough. We're going against Green Bay for that top spot. But look, this week, Mike Evans returns, which is a plus. And I'm not seeing Chris Godwin should be back. Emeka Buka, obviously, rookie wide receiver from Ohio State. He's been key for them. Terrion Arnold on the defensive side is out. Kirby Joseph is out, and now you have no Brian Branch. How are you going to stop Tampa Bay this week? I don't think Detroit's going to win this game. Baker Mayfield continues to roll on the road. Obviously, he lost to the Lions on the road in the playoffs, but this is different. I feel it. Tampa Bay continues to roll behind Baker Mayfield's 30 points. Yes, you heard me say it right. 30 points, and the Lions 28 points. So that's what I like, 30-28. And to finish out week 7, we have one more Monday night game. Let's continue. Come on. All right. Let's finish up strong here. Seahawks and the Texans. Seahawks last week, they fooled me. I went for Jacksonville. I was stupid enough to do that, but not again. Not again. Knowing that the defense holds the end of the bargain, which I've always respected about Seattle. No matter how bad or who was at starting QB for Seattle, their defense seems to hold it through. The Houston Texans, we haven't seen them in a week. They had a bye, but this is going to be tough to win on the road, man. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigma, I mean, he's been on a tear. He's that true number 1 now that DK's out. And still, I think Seattle continues to do something within the NFC West. Obviously, I like LA, the Rams, to win the division, but I think this week they got a pretty fairly good matchup with not only their defense doing good, but also the Texans' defense is number 4 right now. So let's just see. This could be a defensive battle. Scoring seems to be the issue for Houston, not so much for Seattle. But this week, it's going to be a tough matchup. I don't think we see as much points as we did last week. So let's just say Seattle gets away with a win of 23-19. That's what I like, 23-19 this week. And that wraps up Steph's Game 7 week picks. We thank you for tuning in to the Steph Saucy Talk channel. As we continue to go through the NFL season, obviously it's starting to get a little cooler out here. And a lot of teams are desperate in need of wins. Wins and losses are key each and every week. The injury report, the over-unders, the spreads, we consider all of that into consideration each and every week on Steph Game Picks. So look, I'll see you next time, and continue to watch my videos. If you're watching whether Bitcoin, whether my M3 and Steph Game Picks, or even some other videos that I'm going to continue to keep creating, keep watching me, and we will continue to keep working. Until next time, peace.